Hey guys, what's up? I would advise you to grab a cup of coffee because today's topic, yeah, I always found it hard to maintain friendships. This is not a new topic to me. I've always felt that way. And it's so interesting looking on YouTube or TikTok and Instagram and everyone saying it's hard to make friends or it's hard to maintain friendships. I've been saying this since the early 2000s. But whenever I would talk about it, people would kind of look at me like, dude, friends come and go. Get over it. Just keep moving on. That's it. Just whatever. And I would be like, okay, so something's wrong with me. I can't keep friendships. So I blame myself. I blame myself throughout most of my friendship breakups. And it's also weird to talk about because I'm a man. And I feel like, especially with guy friendships, you just can't really be vulnerable with each other. I remember I had this one friend, and he said something that kind of bothered me. So I told him, and I'm like, hey man, I don't like when you do X, Y, Z. And he's like, okay, man, like I didn't know. Damn, you're worse than my girlfriend. You're comparing me to your girlfriend because I told you something that I didn't like that you did. So that sucks for me and your girlfriend, but whatever. But I saw that pattern with a lot of my friends. It kind of felt like whenever I would mention something to my guy friends, they'd be like, okay, just don't rock the boat. Like, it's fine. Okay, whatever. We don't have to talk about it. And they would kind of just like sweep it under the rug and just forget about it or be like, I don't want to deal with it. It's not a big deal. You're being too much. And I always felt like I was too much for people. I always felt like I was too much. And I wondered, maybe I talk too much, maybe I share too much, or maybe I text them too much. Then I also realized they weren't my friends. No real friend is going to be annoyed by you if you're trying to talk to them. Yes, we get annoyed by people. Your brother's annoying, your sister's annoying. People are annoying. But that's part of a relationship. People will tick you off sometimes. People will bother you sometimes. That's part of a community. But I always felt like I never really learned how to have resolution with people. I would get very scared with conflict, or I would just kind of tense up and be like, okay, look, never mind, I don't want to talk about it. Or I would just cut them off. I actually saw that pattern a lot in my life. From high school up until now, I've always had unstable relationships. And just being completely honest, I remember in high school, I had this one friendship group. And we'd hang out a lot. We'd go to Chinatown together, we'd sit at lunch together. And one time, this girl tells me, someone in the friendship group thinks you're annoying. And I said, okay, who is it? And she said, oh, I can't tell you, I don't want to cause drama. And I'm like, I mean, here's a secret. By you telling me that, you're already causing drama. But she didn't want to tell me, so I said, okay, so I'm cutting off all of you. So I cut off everyone in the friendship group, and that actually started my cutting off streak. I would cut people off the minute they did something I didn't like. And I don't know if that was healthy, but it felt like the right thing to do in that moment. Especially because prior to that, I had already had a friend, a guy friend, who would kind of play hopscotch with me. So one week he was my friend, the next week he wasn't, the next week he was my friend again. Very inconsistent behavior. And I would just blame myself and be like, it's because I'm annoying, or I talk too much, or maybe I'm not cool enough. I fucking blamed myself throughout that whole friendship. And looking back on it, he was never my friend. Maybe in the beginning he was my friend, but when we started high school together, he was easily influenced by his new friends. So if his new friends said he's not cool, or like we think he's gay, or why do you want to hang out with him? Like he's not a masculine guy. Like he would just go along with whatever they said. And at the time, I was really desperate for friendships. So I would be upset by that, and I didn't know how to, I guess, live life without friends. So whenever someone didn't want to be my friend, it was devastating. It was devastating to me. And one time I was walking and he saw me. We saw each other, but he pretended that he didn't see me and he walked right past me as though I didn't exist. And I started having mental health problems. That was the first time in my life where I wanted to commit suicide. And ever since that moment, I've always felt unsure about friendships. Whenever I would make a new friend, I would be like, okay, how long until we stop being friends? Especially with men. So I feel for people that say it's hard to keep friends. It is. Because I've had so many friends in my life. I'm only 32, but I've had a lot of friends. And like I said, I've always felt like I was more emotionally invested in them than they were in me. And that might come from calling someone your friend too quickly, or maybe you guys go to church together, so you feel like that's your friend. But outside of the context of church, you're not really friends. So maybe you can call them a friend, but you can't expect that much from them because they can only give you a friendship in the context of being religious or being in a church. I guess that's how I look at it. I feel like friends come and go, and especially as you're evolving, if you're the kind of person that your interests are always changing, which I'm like that, it's very hard to keep friends with you because I'm the kind of person that I can start something and then I'll lose interest. Like I was really into Buddhism. I was really into Buddhism and I was going there for about 8 months. And when I first started, I felt like I had a lot of friends. Everyone was on me, like white on rice. Like, oh my God, you're new. What's your name? Where do you work? And I was kind of like, okay, you guys are too much. But I opened up to them. But at first, I was very guarded. I was kind of like, they're not really my friends. They don't like me. Like, they're just here because I'm showing interest in their Buddhist practice. But they would hang out with me. We'd go to coffee shops. We'd get dinner. And I was like, oh, okay, we can actually be friends outside of this context. So maybe they're my real friends. But when I stopped going to the SGI stopped hearing from them. Sometimes they would still text me, but it was very hard to keep in touch. Like I would text people and say, hey, like want to hang out, want to grab coffee? Or actually I asked someone to go to the beach. And then he was like, oh, I'm not really well equipped to go to the beach today, but have fun and stay hydrated. And I'm like, okay, cool. But then I saw him on Instagram hanging out with other people. And I'm not saying that he owes me his time just because I asked him in this moment, but I saw that pattern with a lot of people. It felt like they're only your friends as long as you're doing what they're doing. So, like, if I'm interested in being a Jehovah's Witness or a Catholic, yeah, they're into me. They want to be my friend. But then the minute I stop going, the friendship's over. I remember I had this one friend when I was in the Mormon church, and we hung out all the time. I went to her house. She would cook dinner and invite me over, and I'd be sitting at the table with her husband and her daughter, and we just talk about everything: life, culture, religion, everything. And at the time, I was going through a lot, like with my sexuality, coming out as bisexual, struggling with my faith, not knowing if I believed in God or not. And she was there for me, and we talked a lot about my problems. And then I stopped going, and I would still text her. And she said, I'll always be your friend, even if you're not Mormon. Like, that doesn't matter to me. But I saw that she would kind of avoid me. And one day I texted her and she didn't respond. And I was like, whatever. I literally forgot about it. Like, I knew it happened, but I wasn't gonna lose sleep over you not responding to a text. And I think I went to the seaport or I went to some food court and I happened to see her with her family. Mind you, I'm not mad. I didn't interrogate her. I wasn't like, why didn't you respond to my text? I was just kind of like, oh, hey, what's up? And she was like, oh, hey, I saw your text. And she starts explaining and kind of interrogating herself. And I was like, I just said hi. Like, you're not in trouble. You're not under arrest. I just said hi. But it kind of showed me how people can kind of switch up. And I don't know. I feel like people know what they're doing. So I never sent an angry text. I never got mad at her, but I just understood, okay, with some people, I can't expect too much. And that's something I see a lot with people. Like, I feel like with friends, we expect a lot from them. Like, our expectations are up here, but really they should be down here. Because sometimes people will show you that they're only your friend in certain contexts, or they can only be with you sometimes. But when you really need them, or you're really going through something, they're not there for you. I've experienced that so many times. And like I said, I blame myself. I felt like, okay, I don't know. I've experienced that so much to the point where I didn't even really want to make friends or have friends anymore. But right now, I'm at a point where I spend a lot of time alone. I'm pretty comfortable being by myself. But at the same time, I would like company, and it's nice to have friends along the way. Like this year alone, I've done so many things by myself. I've been to the beach by myself. I went to Coney Island alone. I've been to food courts. I've explored New York City by myself. And I've had friends tell me, because they follow me on Instagram, they're like, oh my God, that looks so fun. And I'm just like, I invited you, but you didn't want to go. But now that I'm there and you see that I'm having fun, you think it's interesting. Or like just certain types of friends. There's certain types of friends that I could see how we could never really be friends in real life. Like I've always had that one type of friend that was avoidant, meaning they're cool, they text me, they want to hang out, but they'll always say, "Oh my God, let's hang out. We need to hang out one day," but they never do it. Does anyone else have a friend like that? Like I have this one friend. She just got married. I didn't go to her wedding. I couldn't because I don't have a passport and I just didn't have the money for it. But I was there for her. I supported her, and she invited me to the I think it's a wedding bridal shower. I'm not good with the terminology, but I went to her wedding, her bridesmaid situation, and it was nice. It was beautiful. I was so happy for her. She looked gorgeous in her dress, gorgeous, and she was crying. And I was like, I'm happy for you. Like I'm happy that you found your life partner. And after that, the honeymoon comes and you spend time with your partner. And then I just never saw her again. So she would always text me and say, "Oh my God, we have to hang out." And then I'm like, okay. After 7 times of her telling me that, I was like, sweetheart, you got to make it happen. There's no more excuses. Either you want to or you don't. And she was like, no, no, you're right. You're right. I know you're right. And I'm like, I'm still here. I'm not mad at you. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm not going to keep reaching out to her. I'm not going to keep looking for her. Like, I'm not mad at her. I understand shit happens. But it's also very harmful to your mental health when you keep looking for someone and they're not there for you. It's tricky because people will say, oh, well, she got married, or oh, your friend is busy, or they, yes, we're all busy. Everyone on this earth is busy. The guy making your bagel in the morning is busy. The barista making your coffee is busy. I'm busy too. But at a certain point, you have to also realize when you're not being there for someone. There have been times where I wasn't there for someone. There were times where people have told me, well, you know what, like, I think you expect too much from me. Or I've had people just give me feedback and I'm like, okay, like, I never really realized that. But there are things you can work on too. But if you don't want to talk about it, or if you're being avoidant, which some of my friends were, it's like it can't improve. So, like I said, I spend a lot of time alone. Kind of wish I had more friends to do things with, but I'm also not looking for people, if that makes sense. It sounds bad. Like, yeah, I'm open to making friends, but I'm not looking for people. My mom has this saying. She's always said, let people miss you. And it hit home because I'm the kind of person that I text first, I message first. I'm always looking for people. And my mom was like, let people miss you. If you're always texting someone, they don't miss you. If you're always on someone or always looking for someone, it's like, it's nice that you do that, but they also don't appreciate it. There are some people that are like, oh, well, I don't text you because I know you're going to always text me first. Or, oh, I don't call you or reach out to you because I watch you on Instagram. The 60-second clip of me drinking coffee on the beach does not tell you what I'm doing in life. It doesn't tell you how I'm feeling. It doesn't tell you what I'm going through. You don't even know me. You don't know me. I've always felt like that. Like, people who just want to have you on social media but never talk to you, they don't actually want to talk to you. They think that watching your stories and having you as a friend on Facebook or Instagram or whatever replaces actual communication, and it can never replace communication. But I don't know, I feel like I've rambled a lot. I don't really know where I'm going with this video. I don't really have answers for anyone, but I definitely feel you if you feel like you don't have friends or it's hard to keep friends. It definitely is. And as you evolve, things change. Like, you may have had a friend that you met in college and you had a lot in common because you had the same major, you had the same courses, you spent a lot of time together. But once you graduate or you go separate ways, you might try to keep in touch, but you realize you have nothing in common anymore. You're not the same people. You have different values, you have different views on politics. Maybe one person's religious, the other person isn't. Maybe you drink, but your friend doesn't. There's a lot of things like that. I have friends that they'll hit me up, but I know that if we hang out, we're only going to drink. And I'm at a point in my life where I'm very into fitness. I go to the gym every day, I run every day. And sometimes drinking can kind of set me back. So, as much as I want to hang out with certain people, it's like I know that if I hang out with them, they're going to kind of bring me down. It's sad to say, but it's kind of like as you focus on your goals, your priorities change. And I understand for some people, friendship isn't really high on the totem pole. Like, if you're in college or if you're working two jobs or you have kids or you're married, it is kind of hard. I watched a video on YouTube and this one woman was saying, if you get married, things might change. If you get a new job, things might change. If you move, things might change. That's very true. But sometimes it's not that things change. Sometimes you just realize you're just more aware, like, oh, we don't really have things in common. Or I only have this friend because we were both in the LDS church. And now that I left, I'm realizing like we have nothing in common. We don't even like each other. We've just held on to this friendship for so long. And it can be hard, especially when you have friendship breakups. No one really talks about it, but breaking up with a friend is devastating. It's heartbreaking. And especially being a guy, like we don't talk about it. But I don't know, like I grew up around women. Like, I've definitely been raised by a lot of beautiful black women in my life. And I'm the kind of person that I like to communicate. I like to fix problems. If I don't like something, I tell someone, and vice versa. But it's definitely hard because I think that we live in a time where it's very easy to just cut someone off without saying anything. It's why dating is hard. It's why friendships are hard. A lot of things are hard because I just think we have less patience nowadays. It's very easy to just say, "Oh, I got the ick," or "I'm not." They crossed me once. I can't deal with it. But I think it's hard because I grew up watching shows like Full House and Family Matters, and I've always thought friendship looked one way. Like your friend will always be there for you, and like the one friend you make in high school will be with you for the rest of your life. And that's not reality. Like it definitely exists, and I agree with it to a certain element. But I don't think that friends can always be with you throughout your life. Yeah, I've met a lot of amazing people at bars, at coffee shops. Like there's people that I see whenever I go to a bar and they make my drinks. But I know that I'm not gonna really be their friend once I stop going to the bar. It's not a bad thing. It's just I guess that's just how it is. Like I have one friend that I met at a bar and she was a bartender, and we would always talk. We'd always have amazing conversations about sexuality, about life, culture, language, and I still consider her a friend, but I know she's not someone that's gonna reach out to me. Like she never responds to my Instagram messages. She just kind of lets them pile up. But like if I post something, she'll like it. So I'm like, okay, cool. But I guess for me, I like communication and like hanging out, like physical, I guess actually spending time with someone. I don't like texting or just liking pictures on Instagram. I'm the kind of person that I like face to face communication. That's when I feel the most connected to people. But obviously, everyone's not like that. I don't know. But as always, thanks for watching my video. And it's really hard to record without stopping. The way I record my videos is I do it in one sitting. So this is the most raw, natural form. I don't cut. There's no fancy editing. I wish I could do that, but it's just easier on my laptop to record it in one video. So thanks for watching and bearing with me because that was really hard. I really wish that I could just write a script and follow it, but the way my brain works, it's very random. So, but yeah, thanks for watching. And if you have any, like, if you relate to this, or if you have any suggestions, or if you just want to comment something, the comment section is always open.